Bonjour. Sorry that I'm not there today. I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, so I'm going to try to guide y'all through today's lesson. That will be for a daily grade, so make sure you get through it. Before you look at this video, it is important that you have completed everything on this handout. So if your handout is not finished, you need to pause the video and go back and look at the photos on this Google Classroom lesson and just make sure that you have filled everything out. Okay, this is page 1. You need to have page 2 completely filled out. You need to have page 3 completely filled out, as well as page 4. Okay, so you have to have that filled out first because it's going to be important that I'm able to refer back to certain things on the handout for the lesson. All right, the sub should have given you a sheet of paper that looks a little bit like this. Please go ahead and write your name on the top. The instructions for the first activity say sucré, salé ou autre, sweet, salty, or other. You're discussing typical dishes from your home with Ariane. Complete the sentence with an adjective, a logical adjective from what you see here. Pay attention to use the correct form of the adjective. Okay, so in the example, it says, les pâtes sont salées. All right, how did they know to add an extra E and an extra S? Very simple. The verb or the word pâte in French, which means noodles, is a feminine word. How can you know that? Well, it's a little tricky because it's plural, but in our handout, in parentheses, it says F for feminine and then PL for plural. So that's why it's super important for you to have this handout, probably even just right beside you here while you complete this. Okay, number 1, le poulet est, oh, well, I guess it says it right there, doesn't it? L-E. So you know that this is a masculine singular word. There's no S. So when you pick something to say up here, you can pick whatever you want, but make sure you put it in its masculine form. I don't know. What do you want to say? Chicken is rather light. It's a light meat. So maybe you could write léger right here. Le poulet est léger. Okay. Number 2, we've got le gâteau. You want to say sweet here? How about sucré? Okay, and then le fromage. How about salé? Le poisson. I don't know. Let's go with salé also. Here we have a feminine word on number 5. La glace est sucrée. Sweet. So this time when you write sucré, please add an extra E. This lesson shouldn't be completely foreign to you because we've talked about adjective agreement before. So try to finish this off over here. We don't have any plural, so that's good. So just pay attention to masculine and feminine. Pause the video and finish that. And then you may turn the page. Okay, the next page. Sorry, you might hear my dog in the background. Hob, stop. The next page is called le partitif. There's a video that goes along with this, but sometimes the videos, I've noticed students don't always pay very good attention to them. So I'd rather y'all listen to me for now. It says, use this représentation schématique to help you take notes as you watch the video. Okay, so don't worry about the video, obviously. This is where you need to be. Okay, the important thing you need to know is that the partitive article in French, it basically, what they mean here is often the partitive article can be translated as our word some. Okay, so copy that down. Now, not always. The partitive articles in French can be used to mean more than just some. However, today, since we're dealing with food, basically it almost always means some. One difficult thing for students is that in English, we don't always use the word some, right? You might just say, I want pizza. You might not always say, I want some pizza. Whereas the French will almost always use some sort of article in front of their noun, either a pizza, the pizza, some pizza, something like that, okay? Now, the different some words in French, I want you to copy this down as well. Your choices are du, D-E-L-A, Sorry, that should be 2 words. D-E-L-A, de la. D-E-S or D-E-L apostrophe. If you want to get technical, where does this come from? It's basically a combination of D-E plus L-E. The French didn't like that. They created a new word. This one technically is a combination of D-E plus L-E-S. The French didn't like that either, so they created a new word, but you don't have to understand all that. Okay, so how do you know which one to pick? Why do the French have so many some words, and how do you know which one to pick? Well, it has to do with gender and plurality of the noun that follows, okay? So, for example, if I want to say that I really want some ice cream, in French, since ice cream is a feminine word, I just know that. I know you're still learning, but it is on your handout. You can look, la glace. It's a feminine word, so you would always put de la in front of glace. I want some ice cream, je veux de la glace. Got it? Okay, if you want to say, maybe you want your grandmother scrambled a whole bunch of eggs, you're like, well, I want some eggs. That's not a great example. Let me think of something else. I'm trying to think of a word in French that begins with a vowel. That can be, egg is the only one I see here. Okay, let's just say that she hard-boiled an egg and she's splitting it between you and your brother. Okay, so you're like, I want some of that egg. Well, in French, the word egg starts with the vowel. Je veux de l'œuf. This would be an example of when to use that one. What about water, which is not on the handout? I want some water, de l'eau. These words begin with a vowel sound, and so that is the some expression that you would use for that. Okay, for the masculine singular, for example, milk, cheese, dessert, specifically brie cheese, maybe you want some dinner, dîner. Okay, the French did not really like this guy right here. So they don't want you to say, je veux de le lait. I want some of the milk. They don't want you to say it like that. They want you to say this. So du is going to come in front of all masculine words in French if you're trying to say some, okay? Du lait, du fromage, du poisson, du gâteau, all of that. And finally, if you have many of one thing, like, I don't know, maybe you want to say, I want some fruit. I want lots of fruits. I want some apples, bananas, and kiwis. I want lots of fruits, some of the fruits. This is going to be DES. Okay? So, step 1 in determining which some word is to be used for these. First, you got to figure out, is it a masculine or feminine word? So please pause the video, look at your handout, and write masculine. If it's feminine, write feminine, and all of that. Please pause and do it now. If you did not pause the video, well, here are your answers. Okay, so this one is plural, and this one is feminine. All right, so based on that, you can now figure out how to say some in front of all these words. I want some fish, du poisson. I want some milk, du lait. I want some baguette, de la baguette. I want some cake, du gâteau. I want some noodles, des pâtes. Okay, remember, in front of a plural word, we go over here, and then some pie, de la tarte. You might not understand that fully. Please hang in there. Don't get discouraged. It'll be easier for me to explain in person. Okay, turn the page. Classify the nutrients and the drinks into 2 categories. The first categories is for food and drink that we eat whole. The second category is for food and drink that we eat portions of. Okay, so for example, you would eat a whole banana. I mean, you might eat part of it, but you could definitely eat a whole banana. That's not that weird. I would say salad also. You could eat a whole salad, right? Like a salad from a restaurant. I feel like soup. I guess if you're ordering from a restaurant, you could. I would like for y'all to express some with soup. Let's put soup over here. So soup. some rice. You're not going to eat a piece of rice. Well, you could, but you're a lot more likely to use some there, yeah? Some bread. You're not going to eat a whole bread, a whole loaf. Well, you might. Some chicken. Some cheese. Okay, some pie. Oh gosh, I don't know. What would you say on this one? Some or an orange juice? An orange juice. Let's pretend we're ordering one from McDonald's. Okay, banana they've already got over here. We're done with that. Gosh, they're almost all... Wait, do you think they wanted me to put all of these over here? Oh, good grief. Okay, an egg. Let's put egg over here. Let's put ice cream over here. And let's put cake over here. I don't really have a lot over here, but that's okay. Okay, so now for each of the following foods, decide if it is something that we would eat whole or a part of, and then write the corresponding article. So remember, our some words or expressions include du, de la, D-E-L apostrophe, or D-E-S. Also remember, in order to say a in French, you're going to say un or une. And I think I can, oh, what in the world did I just do? Okay. All right, for milk, I think we would say some milk, don't you? Du lait, it's a masculine word. How do I know that? Well, I just know it because I'm a French teacher. But if you want to look over here to make sure I'm right, ooh, I don't know if I can find it under pressure. Right there. Okay. Mango, I think you could eat a whole mango, don't you? Une mangue. How do I know? You can look on your handout. It is a feminine word. Some noodles, des pâtes. Some cake, du gâteau. It's a masculine word. Some soup, de la soupe. Some cheese. Some ice cream. And, sorry, I got distracted. Un jus d'orange, an orange juice. Okay, turn the page, tourne la page. Okay, ask other students their preferences and note their responses in the little chart here. Example, student A, qu'est-ce que tu manges quand tu as faim? What do you eat when you're hungry? Student B, quand j'ai faim, when I'm hungry, je mange de la glace. So I would really like for you all to ask this question. Qu'est-ce que tu manges quand tu as faim? What do you eat when you are hungry? Please ask 1, 2, and 3 people. But I think you're also supposed to ask them the second question. Qu'est-ce que tu... I haven't taught you how to say to drink, have I? Okay, let's leave the drink part off. Just worry about this column today. So please ask 3 students, qu'est-ce que tu manges quand tu as faim? They are going to answer and you write down their response as best you can. Ideally, you might use de la, you might use du, depending on what they say. Hopefully they respond correctly. You might use that, you might use this, you might use this, or you might use this. All right, give it your best shot. Pause the video and then go on to the next page. Okay. Vous allez dîner, you're going to go dine at your grandparents' house, and he or she is at the supermarket. Read and respond to the text messages to help your grandma and grandpa. So, salut, says grandma, je suis au supermarché. Qu'est-ce que tu veux manger? What do you want to eat for dinner tonight? Okay, so please write what you want to eat for dinner tonight. You can pause the video. Okay. Then your grandma says, ooh, good idea, bonne idée. And what about for dessert? Okay, pause the video and write what you'd like to eat for dessert. Tu veux quelque chose à boire aussi? Do you want to drink something too? You want something to drink? Respond there. And then she says, oh, super. See you soon. Just say goodbye in some way there. Okay, once you get to this page, this will be your final assignment. A typical meal. Look for or draw, today we are going to draw an image that represents a typical meal for you. Then you're going to write some sentences to describe the elements of the meal and the drink. In the example, we've got a salad, we've got French onion soup, and a drink. The person said, I take onion soup and a salad for lunch. The soup is salty. I also take a soda. So you're supposed to draw a picture here of a typical meal for you, and please write 3 sentences describing the meal, and then you are done. Au revoir.